Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we dive into a powerful and emotionally charged story that has resurfaced in South African political discourse, the controversial assault trial involving EFF leaders Julius Malema and Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. Although the case was legally concluded in 2023, recent remarks by Dr. Ndlozi have reignited the public debate, raising fresh questions about justice, resistance, and the balance between state authority and political freedom. Let's rewind to April 2018. South Africa was mourning one of its greatest heroines, Mama Winnie Madikizela-Mandela. It was during this solemn occasion at the Fourways Memorial Park that a confrontation erupted between Malema, Ndlozi, and a female police officer who was reportedly managing security at the cemetery entrance. According to state prosecutors, the officer tried to stop the two EFF leaders from entering the restricted area, and in response, she was allegedly shoved aside. This moment, captured on CCTV footage and debated endlessly on social media, became a flashpoint for a national conversation about power, protest, and policing. For years, the incident was painted by some as an unprovoked attack on a uniformed officer, while others viewed it as a moment of justified frustration, a pushback against systemic disrespect and exclusion from mourning one of South Africa's most significant liberation icons. Ndlozi and Malema both pleaded not guilty, insisting that they were simply asserting their right to pay tribute to a struggle stalwart. The case dragged on for years, dominated headlines, and often sparked heated debates online and in the media. In 2023, after numerous delays and legal battles, both men were acquitted of the assault charges. But the court of public opinion remains far from settled. Recently, Dr. Ndlozi broke his silence with a compelling and deeply personal reflection. He stated, "My life was in threat, since my respect is my life." These words, layered with emotion and political significance, suggest that for Ndlozi, this was never merely about a physical altercation. It was about dignity. It was about political identity. And it was about the enduring tension between black leadership and state authority. Ndlozi is no stranger to controversy or powerful rhetoric. Known for his eloquence, intellectual rigor, and unwavering conviction, he's a figure who has consistently challenged the status quo. His recent remarks are being widely interpreted as an effort to reclaim the narrative, not just about that day at the cemetery, but about how resistance is criminalized in modern South Africa. The officer involved in the incident, once seen as a symbol of the state's stand against impunity, has largely faded from the public eye. There's little clarity about her current role or whether she remains in the SAPS. This absence raises even more questions about how cases involving politicians and state actors are handled, and whether justice is truly served or simply deferred. One online political commentator captured the public's disillusionment perfectly, saying, "I wonder if this attorney is still practicing." Malema and Dr. Ndlozi threw her around like she was a fashion trend. It's this kind of biting sarcasm that reflects the fatigue and frustration many South Africans feel, tired of performative trials, endless delays, and the blurring line between justice and politics. But there's more to unpack. The broader issue here is about how the state treats political dissent. Can resistance still be noble when it clashes with law enforcement? Is there space in our democracy for acts of defiance that come from a place of historical and emotional pain? And are we, as a society, willing to confront the uncomfortable truths about how grief, protest, and authority intersect? This case, although legally closed, has resurfaced just as South Africa heads into a critical election season. The political climate is charged. Public trust in institutions is shaky. And the public discourse is increasingly polarized. Ndlozi's comments have added fuel to an already burning fire, pushing us to ask difficult questions about what justice looks like in a post-apartheid society where liberation fighters are sometimes seen as aggressors and state actors as enforcers of exclusion. For the economic freedom fighters, the narrative is clear: this was a political persecution aimed at silencing revolutionary voices. For their critics, it was a simple case of disrespecting the rule of law. And for ordinary South Africans, it's another reminder of how complex and contradictory our democratic journey still is. Let's not forget, this isn't the only instance where political leaders have clashed with state authority. From Marikana to Fees Must Fall, the story of South Africa's democracy is littered with moments where resistance met repression. What makes this incident unique is that it happened during a moment of mourning, a space meant for unity, turned into a battlefield of narratives. As we head into the next chapter of our national story, the role of leaders like Ndlozi will be more important than ever. Will they continue to challenge state power, or will they find ways to work within the system they often criticize? Will our courts become more trusted, or will they remain battlegrounds for political theater? What's certain is that South Africans are watching closely. The people are hungry for accountability, transparency, and most of all, justice. Whether it's in the courtroom or the streets, the fight for dignity continues. Thank you for tuning in today. If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. We want to hear your thoughts. Was this a justified resistance or an abuse of power? Do you think the courts made the right call? Let's talk about it. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep asking the tough questions. See you next time.